Tencate Geosynthetics and its relationship with demand solutions. Joining us today to speak about that, Steve Huster, Global Director of IT at Tencate Geosynthetics. Steve, welcome.
Thank you, Russell.
Steve, surely somebody out there is not entirely familiar with Tencate Geosynthetics, so walk us through for just a moment or two, just what does the company do?
So my company manufactures textile products that get used primarily in civil engineering projects. So most notably in road construction projects where the engineer is looking for textiles to help address a particular engineering need or requirement. And we do that and supply product across the globe.
Well, that your title would suggest that it is an international company, Global Director of IT. So clearly you have operations worldwide then.
We do. We have operations in the U.S., in Europe, and in Asia, supplying product all across the globe.
Sounds like it might be a complex supply chain. Well, Steve, we want to talk, of course, about the relationship that the company has with Demand Solutions, but clearly there was a time prior to the beginning of that relationship, and I just wonder if you could walk us through just what that situation was like before Demand Solutions entered the picture. What would you say?
Yeah, so our company, for a variety of reasons, has operated its supply chain planning fairly localized or regionalized. And most of the planning tools or technology that has been used and we're evolving from is Excel as our primary planning tool. And we took the approach that we needed to do something different to address a number of financial business objectives that the management team established last year. And that's what led us to go look at solutions and what ultimately led us to Demand Solutions.
Let's stick with the situation, though, that obtained there at the company prior to this relationship. Were there accuracy problems? Were there any other sort of inventory or production problems as a result of that? What exactly was the downside that you experienced before, of course, Demand Solutions came into the picture?
Yeah, so we had all of those things and other things. So we sit on what we believe to be a higher investment in working capital inventory than what we would expect for our business and the seasonality and supply requirements of our business. We did not have a disciplined demand planning or forecasting process, so the supply chain team was generally having to rely on historical data and gut feel to establish what their requirements were and to plan production and sourcing to meet those requirements. And we knew that by pursuing a disciplined supply chain planning process, we'd be able to address our working capital investments. We'd be able to improve reliability and internally, but also reliability as a supplier to our customers.
Also sounds like you had a totally retrospective look at things as opposed to having a view to where you needed to go and what you needed to do. Would that be fair to say?
No, we knew retrospectively where we had been and what the drivers were, but we also, the management team knew that there were a number of initiatives, a number of things that we needed to do and would be doing as a company, supply chain being one of them, but it wasn't our first priority. So we were acquired by private equity 3 years ago, and after that acquisition had a number of initiatives we were pursuing. Supply chain was on the list, but it wasn't our first priority. And now we've addressed the other priorities, and supply chain is the priority for us this year and following.
So now let's talk about the relationship. Demand Solutions enters into the picture. Presumably you vetted some other providers before ultimately going with them. What have they brought to the partnership?
Yeah, so several things. They've brought a technology that's got a very well-established history across just a wide range of companies. many that are similar to us in terms of size, complexity, global reach, and they have just a very well experienced team that's come in and not only helped us with implementing the technology, but also helping us guide us on some of the decisions that we've needed to make in terms of our supply chain process.
So walk us through then where this journey, if you will, is going.
So currently with Demand Solutions, we are about to flip the switch in production for their demand planning module. So we are still early in the journey with them. It's our intent to roll out several of the other modules that they have, their supply chain planning module, their manufacturing module, potentially even their IBP module in our U.S. business, and then to take that platform and roll that out to our European businesses and our Asian businesses. And this will be a multi-year approach and strategy for us, so we're still early in that journey.
But clearly you will, the hope is that you're going to have a end-to-end comprehensive visibility that will be considerably better than what you had before.
It's our objective to eliminate using Excel to support any of our supply chain planning process.
Steve, everything that you've just told me about the relationship with Demand Solutions suggests that this is a fruitful relationship. Best to you and to the company going forward. Thank you for meeting with us today.
Great. Thank you, Russell.
Steve Huster, Tencate Geosynthetics, and speaking with us today about the relationship the company has with Demand Solutions. Thank you for watching.